Oh God! So yeah, he gets dropped off, and we get our a lovely cutoff point at the end of the chapter where he's being threatened by a big cat, and he starts focusing his chi power in order to defeat or somehow circumnavigate the cat. I love the line here. Some laughed at the idea of chi. It was all psychological, they said. That smacks very hard of like, some laugh at the anti-vax movement. They don't understand the truth.
Yeah, it just reminded me that, like, if chi energy can make you invisible and, spoiler alert, shoot fire, then I gotta finish that Marie Kondo series, because I dropped off a few episodes in.
Right.
I want to be able to shoot fire. Dulcium. It would be really great for my vines.
Is this how acupuncture works? Is that what it is? Or
yeah.
Both yoga and chi are known for their fire throwing abilities.
I'm surprised. That's the thing. If I could just drop 50 pounds, I could totally throw a few fireballs. Like, I just...
Yep. Every January, I say the same thing.
This year's the year.
You're getting married this year, Phil, so...
Yeah, I'm getting married and learning how to throw fireballs before I turn 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try to guess what order that comes in. Because I recommend one of those coming first.
It's going to be a mess.
A Stephen King novel.
Right there. I'm ready for it.
Cancun.
That's how it happens. I'm so excited. And the whole...
So he turns invisible and he goes basically through the forest and into a fucking cave. And there's...
it's a fucking cave.
I just love the tone, the respect we afford this series.
No, Kevin said it exactly the right way because this book really yadas you through like all of the major transitions. Is like he was in fucking Tokyo, he goes to fucking LA, and he's in fucking Galesburg. They put him in a goddamn plane and they drop him into the fucking forest. Don't worry about it. He gets there.
He gets there.
Don't worry about it.
He's just shut up.
Stop
Don't worry
questioning
about
me.
it.
He gets there.
He decides to get into a mine cart for some reason. There's no real
a coal
reason.
cart. Yeah, he gets a coal cart ride. Why not?
Right.
Why not a coal cart ride? Whee! I'm a ninja.
I have learned from video games, if you find a coal cart, you get in it and you nail that crank. And then whatever happens, you hit that lever, and then whatever happens is whatever happens. Just be ready to shoot or punch things coming at you from the horizon. You're fine.
Whatever happens is the correct thing. It's all
yes.
As long as you're moving left to right on the screen, you're golden, baby.
Yeah.
I got my plunger gun. I'm not wearing pants. I'm here to rock and roll. That was a Quackshot reference. That's what Disney Sega Genesis enthusiasts.
We're here to educate the kids. They need to know about
Quackshot.
They really need to
Donald
know about
Duck.
Quackshot. They need to know. So then there's like a grotto, and there's like I don't understand. There's like it's like black liquid with fins and teeth.
Yeah, they hint at like a monster, some sort of tentacly abomination.
Yeah, I couldn't get a read on that, and it pissed me off because I was like, this should be a thing. And it kind of wasn't.
Like,
it was a nothing burger.
Is it the thing from... I was waiting for it to come back. Is it the thing from the that episode of Star Trek?
Yeah, is the Armus? Yeah. No, in our... the Armus does not have tentacles, but it has... something much worse, which is kind of a shitty, self-interested attitude. And from anybody that's not familiar, the Armus is an extremely famous Star Trek: The Next Generation monster. It is particularly famous, one, because it's a total blowhole of a character, and two, because it killed a main cast character because they needed to be written off the show, and so it's one of the only like out of left field plays that Star Trek ever gets to do is like, oh shit, they killed her. She did. Like, and they're not fucking around. They don't balonium around it in the next half an hour and bring her back with like, science juju.
Right.
They're like, holy shit. But in reality, it's just a puddle of printer ink and Metamucil. So, like, literally, that's not one of my hilarious, like,
That's how it was
comparisons. It was literally black ink, printer ink, and Metamucil that they had to dip Jonathan Frakes in. And I can only imagine the top shelf gin that he had to force himself through that following week to get through that experience. It sounds very harrowing.
Is this our Oops All Monsters? I feel like we're getting into it real good.
Maybe
you're doing some research.
If you just like making ridiculous comparisons of what monsters look like, then yeah, jump over to my show. We're doing it wall to wall stupid names for slimy tentacle things.
I think that's your first T-shirt right there,
Jonathan.
Stupid names for slimy
tentacle things.
Oops, all monsters.
Yep. Got it. Nailed it.
Jonathan Frakes just saying, "We made it up."
Yeah.
I love that. I love that shit. I can watch that all day. I can watch Jonathan Frakes talking about how you're fucking wrong for just like hours and hours.
You're right. Nope. Our writers made that one up.
Total fiction. Nope.
So
complete malarkey.
The Artemis just totally gets bypassed. Never hear from it again. And Ryu gets attacked by a bird thing.
Yeah. Which I did the research. What bird thing? Like, I know that, was this like an inside joke? Because I know that the birds in Ninja Gaiden were like horrible for like, it's like the bats in Castlevania. You're jumping over a pit and a bird comes in. Is that all we're referring to here?
Pretty much.
Jesus.
I mean, there almost seemed to be a little synchronicity that with the Komodo dragon, that at least that there's some kind of through line of like bizarre biodiversity that a person that was overthinking it could say was a result of the machinations underground of the demon, right? Or whatever.
But isn't the bird a robot?
Oh man,
I feel like they're all robots by the end.
Yeah, everything is a robot. The bird fell to the ground, a tangled mess of wires and computer chips. This is basically so Ryu doesn't actually have to kill anybody or thing.
No one has to die.
Yeah.
No.
Right. This is everything's either a demon or a robot. It's G.I. Joe rules.
Right.
G.I. Joe rules.
You can't kill a person.
It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Foot Clan rules. They're not ninjas, they're robots.
Everybody's fucking around until Gridiron gets his head chopped off.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
In the episode I just edited, by the way, I had an extended metaphor about shipwreck getting vivisected by laser.
That's right. We just want to see Joe dead.
We just want to see Joe's dead.
Yeah, that's our official stance.
I don't know how you guys experience this, but because we're with such similar age that Gavin and I, and this is like breaking open Oops All Monsters lore, is when we got to like the nefarious like 10, 11, 12 age, we started a full-on genocide of our G.I. Joe figures.
Oh, yeah.
Where we employed every imaginable malfeasance and tool that we could get our grubby hands on.
Yep.
I almost lost probably half the fingers on my right hand blowing up gung ho with a black cat firecracker. Yep. Because I'm sure I don't have to tell you that the way that they're made in the rubber band seam when you pull them apart, you've got basically a firecracker shaped hole that goes into their torso.
Perfect.
Right? So you're like, oh, there you go. Insert and light. And I swear this one just it just went faster than it should. And the fuse, I was like, oh shit. And I went, whoop, and literally, I swear, 6 inches away from my finger, gung ho went zoom. And that was the only one. We didn't find a fucking micro cell of that pile of plastic. Like all over that field was just nothing. We had found pieces of Deep Six. We had found pieces of Lady Jane. There was no gung ho anywhere to be found.
I think I had a similar thing where I discovered my dad's jeweler's screwdrivers, and I found the screw in the back of all the GI Joes. And at first it starts out very, very good because I'm like taking apart their chest and I see how the rubber band works,
swapping them, yeah.
and I'm swapping chests out with legs. And I think I remember my mom like seeing that and going, "Did you do that? Are you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I think my mom walked away very pleased, like, "Oh, he's gonna grow up to be an engineer or something."
Creative, yeah.
Yeah, but then the rubber band, the temptation to cut is it's just fucking terrible.
Too strong.
And so my mother returns to the room a day or two later and finds just disemboweled Joes all over the place, and I think the concern returned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concern was gone briefly.
Yeah. Our surgery hit that level, and then we went up from it because we realized that if you just drilled a couple of extra holes in the abdomen, you could Goro all of them.
Hell yes.
You could just take other arms, from the communications officer and stick them in your robot battle droids, and suddenly you had a 4-armed, viper attack monster. It was good stuff.
My go-to move was burying them down up to their waist in the backyard. And then eventually my dad's lawnmower would run over them.
Do you think he noticed? Was he cussing you out and being like, what are all these Joes?
He never noticed.
Didn't even notice. Didn't even notice.
I would go back out there after he mowed, and I would just investigate the crime scene. And I'd be like,
was it a driving mower or a push mower?
Push mower.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised you wouldn't notice that, because some of those were made out of, some of the older ones, that plastic was hardy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he never said anything to me.
The only time different methods.
The only time he said something to me was when I left one on top of a light bulb, because that turned out to be kind of dangerous in terms of fumes and flammability.
Yeah, that's not made out of a plastic you want to be inhaling either.
No.
Particularly for it to occupy all of the oxygen in the room over the course of 9 hours, Like how did little Kevin die? He inhaled Cobra Commander over the course of 8.5 hours.
Gradually, Cobra Commander melted and reconstituted in his lungs.
In the least metaphorical way possible.
So now he is going to go Joe in the sky.
G.I. Joe.
Stop all the downloading. Can I ask you guys for 5? Pork chop sandwiches. The best one is the one you can't quote because it's just barbecue going. What the hell are you saying? Okay.
Oh, God.
Can I grab a 5 to get my last drink?
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
There's a cryptid movie coming out.
Oh yeah,
it's just called Cryptid. It's coming out this year.
It's a little lazy.
Yeah. Small rural town in Maine is shocked as a mysterious animal leaves a local resident brutally ripped apart. Deemed to be a random bear attack by town officials, freelance journalist Max Frome suspects it might be something more. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a movie that exactly sets the country on fire.
You know what I'm looking forward to, and I don't know why, is Moonfall.
For what?
Moonfall.
Yeah.
Because I was like looking at it, and I was like, oh man, this is a really just dumb looking movie, disaster movie. And I was like, I miss dumb looking disaster movies.
Yeah.
There's
a very
they
specific...
do what they say does what it says right on the tin,
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit's gonna blow the fuck up, You don't need to think that.
You know what you're here for. We all know what you're here for. Just sit back and enjoy.
Sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, no, I get that. That was a very specific time. That
from the 90s to the mid 2000s, there was always a couple disaster movies per summer.
Right.
I remember they started out with you had was it Volcano? where there's a volcano in Los Angeles or something like
Uh-huh.
that. It was like underneath the La Brea tar pits.
There are always two of these things too.
Yeah, there's always two. Oh, there was two.
There's
That year.
Dante's
Volcano-
Peak.
Dante's Peak and Volcano,
And
I think, were the
yeah.
same year. And like how there was Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Right, exactly.
Same year.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this year it's Don't Look Up and Moonfall.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking funny? I haven't even watched Don't Look Up because I just know I'm going to spend all the because everyone I know is like, no, you're gonna love it. It's really smart and they're on our side. I'm like, yes, I know they're on our side, and it's just gonna make me angrier as I scream at the TV at straw men people on the right that I've made up in my head as I get drunk on the couch.
Yeah, so Hess, we were just discussing how like there's always two of the same disaster movie every year.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
And this year it's Don't Look Up and Moonfall.
Yeah. How long is it? I feel like this has been going on since the 60s.
It's been going on
Because
a long
you can go
time.
all the way back to like the fucking Poseidon Adventure.
Totally.
And Towering Inferno was a double movie with another one just like it, Volcano and
Dante's Peak.
Yeah,
Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Yep.
Armageddon and Deep Impact, and there were weren't there two giant tidal wave movies? What was the one where Téa Leoni is like standing on the beach with her father, just like gracefully being destroyed by a tsunami?
That's the end of Deep Impact.
Yeah, Gavin and I were in the cinema for that, and for some reason there were like no seats, so we were in literally the front row.
Oh yeah.
When that scene happened, we were cackling wildly with glee. We were just stomping our feet with laughter as Téa Leoni, and it was either her husband or her father, were just like a Dove soap commercial, like blissfully embracing their personal apocalypse. And we were just cackling like fucking crows. It was the funniest thing we'd ever seen in our lives because it was so goddamn precious and corny.
Well, they took themselves so goddamn seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't pure Schadenfreude. It was like, come on, crawl out of your own ass.
Right.
Deep Impact was the super serious version of the asteroid impact. And Armageddon was Michael Bay, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, let me tell you, Armageddon's probably aged better than Deep Impact.
Yeah,
Probably.
Amazingly. Yeah. Doing cocaine off of the bubble of your astronaut, suit. Let's fuck this asteroid to death.
Yeah. America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the way, so in chapter 14, while he's dealing with the bird, he like slashes a lantern, which is just like a nod to the fact that in the game, the lanterns are the sort of like in Castlevania, how the lanterns hold the goodies. Same thing in Ninja Gaiden. So he gets a power up from the lantern for some fucking reason.
Yeah. The whole book quickly descends into for some fucking reason.
For some reason, this happens.
Yeah. And this is actually where the book does kind of become a boss rush of the video game. Like we are just now going to take a couple of pages each to kill the next 3 or 4 bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all very confident.
Very much so, yeah.
Which is amazing because each of them is defeated in about 3/4 of a page.
Oh yeah. And we got Jackie O holding that lady, the redheaded lady, hostage, and we're supposed to really be burnt up about that. It's supposed to be a major motivator here.
It's like, oh shit.
Go ahead.
It's oh shit, the girl we met once before.
Right, yeah. And you're like, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't think that's really...
Yeah, the 13-year-old foreigner with no connections to anyone is just really tripped up about all these people he just met yesterday.
Right, exactly.
many of them trying to either sabotage him or kill him.
Right. Yeah, they've given him so many reasons to trust.
She shot him once.
Yeah. And then he fights a boss who uses as his main weapon a sickle on the end of a chain that he swings. Now with that kind of unique personality-driven weapon, the name of this boss is, of course, Bomberhead. That makes
Total sense.
Just
it's got a real kind of Bob Dugnut kind of name system feel to it. It's like it's 2 words. Don't worry about it.
Right.
He's a real
2
Bob
words
Dugnut.
starts with B.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 words starts with B.
Move on.
There's going to be a lot of B names.
Nobody is going to be talking about this in 2022.
Yeah.
You fucking nerd.
Surely.
Just write something down. Move on. We got to finish this goddamn game.
I was just waiting for him to fight like Lord Humongous next or something like that. With that kind of naming convention.
It's real Mad Max. It's
right,
real.
it is. By the way, quick aside, I am playing the Mad Max video game right now that came out a few years back, and the main bad guy is called Lord Scrotus. So they know the world. Like
They know the world. They're very invested.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know the problem is a 5-4 conservative bench that does not reflect America's values.
None. So yeah, he lights Bomberhead on fire or something.
Uses
that
his
Marie
fire
Kondo
powers.
juju. Yeah,
he Marie Kondos and says this
does not give me joy.
Does not give me joy, and he fucking lights Bomberhead head up. We actually we somehow missed a boss, Barbarian, who he killed.
Barbarian! How could we forget
I thought
that?
I was wrong. I thought I was wrong.
No,
Okay,
that's my fault. We totally missed Barbarian.
Barbarian was somewhere.
I wanted
in that...
to get to Bomberhead so bad.
we got to Bomberhead, but by the time we finish Bomberhead, it's like two steps, and he finds the next boss, and his name is Basicare, which
Basicare.
I don't know. That sounds like a name that it sounds like it's a separatist movement in Spain.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds
we
like an
want to bring
autonomous
back
region.
American federalism.
Join the Basicare party.
We're the Spanish Whigs.
Right.
The Spanish Whigs, the know nothings. So he kills Basicare pretty quick. Using and he somehow uses the hourglass stop time G.
Yeah.
Or fucking whatever.
He uses the Flashman ability.
He uses Flashman's ability, and
when he uses that, you go like, was that the time you needed to use that?
Right.
Because like stopping time feels like a real game changer.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay.
You use that for a lot of things. And that's the only time he uses it too.
Only time he uses it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I know how to do this now.
Yeah, that seems like almost a game-breaking mechanic that could really turn the whole tide for the whole thing. But
we're only gonna use it the once? Okay. Cool.
Yep, no big deal.
Cool.
You do you.
No sweat.
You do you, Ryu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fights, he runs into Malth. Malth is the man with the J shields.
Bloody Malth.
And we get a little pre-fight dialogue between the two, and Malth talks in bold.
For anyone who's watching the video.
Now we start to enter the bold section of the book.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful.
Welcome, my friends. Malth is in bold, and he basically he grabs Malth's sword because Ryu somehow lost his own sword. Not really explained why his sword flew away. So he takes Malth's hand and he stabs him like here, which is like where that's like this one of the sneaky ways to kill somebody, because if you stab right
collarbone neck joint,
collarbone neck joint, because it cuts
it's
right
really
up.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, it is.
Set up how impossible this guy is going to be to kill, and he's just like,
Electrifies him from the inside out.
Yeah,
your dad really was a shitty ninja. Like, this is not.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
rocket science.
Like your dad died to this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. This 13-year-old kid is just Cobra Kai-ing through all of this like fucking butter. It's like nothing at all.
It's just constant crane kicks.
Yeah, just keep going until he's done.
Spam that crane kick.
Spam the low weak kick, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Kung Fu. All right.
So he's moving on, and I don't know. He remembers a poem his dad used to talk to him about from when he was a fucking 2-week-old baby.
Yeah, that's one that's sure. That's the best time to teach your kid poetry.
Didn't they establish something like did mom say it or
I
sing
think
it
it was
to
in
him or
I think
some
it was
shit?
in the letter that he got from his dad, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I don't know. That would require me
there
scrolling.
was some established like function where he knew the poem or
And
whatever.
at this point, Malth, before he goes, has told him, "Your dad's still alive. He never abandoned you." And he says, "Your father never abandoned you." And Ryu says, "Don't talk about him like that." Which is like, what is like? He did abandon me.
You shut your whore mouth, Malth.
Totally did.
Yeah.
And Malth says, "Well, if you want to find your dad, you just got to keep going." He like gives him this clearly it's a trap and everything. And Ryu has like 5 seconds where he's like, "I don't know." And he goes,
You gotta go
down
left, and then you enter the Konami code, and you should be all set.
Right.
Nice.
And then there's another boss, and it's a doggy.
Celebros, the Robo Dog. And I gotta say, I know for me, when I think the thing that all of us can appreciate about entering a demon temple specifically is the most annoying thing about it is all the robots. That's just
what's with all these robots. I also had a thought about like, isn't this a hat on a fucking hat? Right. Like, come on, man. Like, do demons or do robots? Like, why would demons be building robots?
You can't have both.
They're like, demons probably can't even think like robot. They don't think binary. They think good and evil.
Right.
It just come on. Just pick a lane.
Yeah. Yeah. Robo demons, just no. It really that's like taking two hats and stitching them together.
Although in 40K, Jesus.
Now, Nazi demons are fine.
Well, that's a total different. Yeah, there you go.
Needs to push the glasses up on that one.
Yeah, it's true. They use.
I'm assuming you're not doing anything with this video, but your listeners are going to get a real joy out of that whole glasses
lady
for the camera.
Yeah, they just demons possess the machines and cause a biomechanical combination of flesh and metal. And the Robo Dog's called Calvaros.
I really need to go back and supercut all the 40K stuff together.
We will one of these days.
One of these days. When I
control F that shit.
Yeah.
So he has to fight his dad.
Yeah.
Who is the masked devil. I just like
I missed
passed out, and because I feel like I read this a couple times and I still didn't understand what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
Like
no,
he like touches the wall and runs, and then he finds his dad in another room, and he wasn't.
It doesn't make any. I know exactly what you mean. It's like his dad has become the masked devil, and he runs away from it. There's a statue of the masked devil, at least it's described as a statue, which shoots flames at him. He keeps going, and he goes into another room, and where he finds his dad like in chains and weakened and with long hair and all that shit. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't understand what the fuck happened.
It don't give yourself an aneurysm. There's a real like Mumra just going behind the changing screen and coming back out as Super Mumra,
right?
Thing happening. But in reverse,
right?
It's fine. It's
fine. Don't think. Don't think about it.
We get what's important is we get the full on reunion between father and son.
Last 5 seconds.
Yeah, they recite poetry to each other. And Jacko speaks for all of us when he says, "Oh, please, this display is repulsive." Which I'm like, yeah, Team Jacko all the way. Yeah.
Fireballs them right into the chest.
Right.
Just 13
So
years apart,
disappointing.
5 seconds together.
Right.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
And his dad takes a fireball for his son, which who among us wouldn't?
Yeah. Disappoint. Disappoint.gif. I don't. It's just. It's like Jesus. Like the turnaround. The problem. We'll call it a singular problem that this book has is that all the scenes where stuff happens, it's like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, you step in and then like 5 other plot devices step in with you, and then you all come out in the next room and you're like, we're all here. Right. We're all resolved. Like, wait, shit, what the fuck happened?
It's a musical chairs
this is
of
one
plot.
of those scenes. Yeah, we're like, okay, dad was here. Oh shit, he's dead. He's fireballed by the thing. Was the thing him? Was he the thing? Don't worry about it. He's dead.
Right.
Don't
worry
he really
about
dead? Nope, he's definitely dead.
He's totally
Wait,
dead.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
he's not dead.
Really?
Maybe.
Most
I don't know.
sincerely dead.
Let's go. Let's go fight Jackie-O.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't. Now, Kevin, I know you saw this because you watched the thing, but Hess, I don't know if you remember. Jackie-O was actually a really kind of creepy ass villain in the video game.
I did not. I meant to watch a playthrough, and then I just didn't get me there.
He's like a floaty dude with a crazy ass mask, and he shoots fireballs out of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a real satanic panic vibe to it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But like in a actually floating around and spitting fireballs kind of.
And he's got like a pentagram and
he's got a big eyeball where his dick would be.
Right.
Yeah.
And then no legs.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a mood.
It is a mood. He's got a eyeball.
Hashtag eyeball where his dick would be is kind of it's certainly that's the real Oops All Monsters brand that I'm bringing to this.
That's what you're here for, man.
Today.
That's why we needed you here.
It's also a softball size eyeball.
I mean,
kinda like
that tells
Yeah.
you.
He's he gives good eyeball. What can I say?
Good
well, I was right there and I didn't see it.
You had it lined up. Kevin, proud of you, bud.
No respect.
Good Lord.
Oh, somebody offset.
Long story short, he melts Jackie-O with fire.
Yeah, more fire
He
deaths.
gets dad death angry.
And his dad's alive.
Dad death fireball.
Whoops, his dad's alive.
Dad's
Well, I
alive.
guess good thing I used up all that anger.
Yeah, exactly. And he asks him about the statues. The dad diagnoses himself with paralysis, like he would if he was experiencing heartburn.
Right, but then also diagnoses himself with the fact that he's going to die.
Yes,
Which is like those two things are not necessarily correlated.
If I can't dance the chicken dance at your wedding, I don't want to live.
Yeah. I did not spend all those years in ninja archaeology school to not be right about my own medical situation.
What did I
Cotton Eye Joe or give me
PhD
nothing?
So the statues start fusing together, and we're faced with the only thing that I actually kind of suspected they weren't going to put in the book, which is the final demon monster.
We get the
boss.
demon, which if you haven't seen it before, it looks like a purple shrimp with a tumor in its chest.
Yeah, you talk about a Contra boss, like it's a horrifying monster. It's wonderful. But yeah, so he starts facing off, and it's actually a bit of good question mark writing, where they end the chapter with Ryu just looks at it and he's just like, oh, we're all gonna die.
Oh, this is
yeah.
we're
like, oh,
we're
okay,
not gonna,
shit, that's pretty.
we're not gonna make it out of this one.
That's pretty
Um,
grim.
Actually, it's also it also could be like a zygote or whatever, that one of those early developmental stages.
Sure,
Of,
especially with the
Right.
big head.
yeah, with the big head.
It's certainly, I mean, maybe this is my own show bleeding into my thinking too much, but it certainly has these kind of like, alien xenomorph,
That
just
too.
H.R. Giger.
Totally.
Yeah.
Early life is scary. Fetuses are scary. Oh my God, it's scary kind of primordial thing going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was the time period, this was 89 or 88. 88, I think, is when it came out. And around the same time Contra did, and it was just like, yeah, they were ripping off Giger like nobody's business.
Yeah, you basically couldn't make a Nintendo game without having at least one boss that was like exposed rib cage,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like bizarre biosexual sculpting. It just wasn't allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
Or an egg that would pop open in the background and have critters come out of it or something.
Yeah.
Giger really set the tone for the decade that followed Alien in both
Yeah.
film and especially in video games, in terms of some of the bullshit that we saw in these
Yep.
games.
Good thing we had that weird Swiss man who dreamt about robot vaginas
Thank
all day.
God.
Thank
God.
God.
He just made our lives so much better.
Mhm.
So Ryu ends up he chops the head off. It doesn't do anything to kill the monster, and he just keeps slicing chunks off of it until he does kill it, and then the temple starts to fall apart, as one does when the MacGuffin or final boss has been destroyed within
Yep.
said temple. That's just what temples do.
That's how it
They're
works.
Mhm.
they're really only held together by
Temples be crumbling.
I mean,
temples be crumbling.
am I
They're
right,
really only
ladies?
held together by plot. It's plot duct tape.
yeah.
That reminds me, I have a note on here. I don't want to take us on too much of a tangent, but has either of you ever seen this Jeff Goldblum movie from like 1987 called Vibes? Vibes. It's available on Amazon. If you compulsively Google it right now, it's Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper star as two psychics who are drawn into a scheme to find a hidden archaeological site in the Amazon rainforest.
I refuse to believe
And-
that the people who did Earth Girls Are Easy aren't responsible for this.
You might totally be right. But I won't say it's good, but I will say it's very Goldbloomy. And Cyndi Lauper does a lot of quick change outfit shifting and is in the movie a lot. She's in like every fucking scene with her weird, bizarre Bronx accent and over the top kind of style.
It's directed
Yeah.
by Ken Kwapis.
Who's Ken Kwapis?
He was like he
Kwapis, right?
mostly did a lot of TV. He was The Office. Yeah, like that's
Oh, okay.
that's
Huh.
so.
Well,
random.
I won't say it's not entertaining, but it is really like in the dark beating heart of all of these 80s kind of hidden temple stereotypes of, once you resolve the MacGuffin that everybody must run for holy hell or be spontaneously exploded. It's like right in the center of that.
Yeah, written by Lowell Gans and Babaloo Mandel.
Yeah,
Nice.
nothing to do with Earth Girls Are Easy. I am genuinely surprised.
Yeah, Spies Like Us, though, they were involved with. Parenthood,
I would
City
actually
Slickers.
watch this before I would rewatch Spies Like Us.
Also, A League of
But-
Their Own. The writers worked on. So
Oh shit! Yeah,
Interesting.
Parenthood. Holy cow!
yeah, so
We're all over that time.
Comes
period.
from-
Okay.
I love Parenthood.
Parenthood's
Just to say.
amazing. Parenthood holds up so well.
It's phenomenal.
It's still.
Yeah,
it still holds up.
in and we're talking about the movie with Steve Martin. Just for I know that you know that,
Yeah,
Phil, but
yeah.
just for the audience, there's a device of the kid in that movie, the little kid who's like wearing a bucket on his head and smashing
I
it over and
love
over
that
again
kid,
into the wall. I met the human being
No
that
kidding.
was that kid, not the actor, the human being that the writer of that movie based the kid on, which is his own son, who was an autistic adult man when I met him.
Oh, wow.
And explained that he was that kid. And I found there was some like mixer down the road from when I worked at the talent agency, and I don't know why Parenthood came up, but he explained that he was that kid with the bucket on his head, and that is like a real like neurodivergent thing of taking your head and like repetitive like impact on things. I'm like, that's a true to life story.
Yeah.
And if you like that movie, you know that movie is just building blocks of obviously real scenes with real human beings.
Absolutely.
So just it has a verisimilitude that most dramas don't have, even if it has Steve Martin doing like wacky pajama styling in every scene,
Right.
and getting an injurious blowjob that ends in a car crash at the climax of the film. But I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I could watch it a million times, where he's having the anti-fantasy about his boy grows up to be the sniper.
He's shooting from a tower. You made me play first base.
And he's doing the you're running onto first and your belly's gonna burst diarrhea,
right.
Trying to like talk him down from the Marine sniper scene. I love that. And in that movie, they play bad dudes, by the way.
Yes, that's right.
Steve Martin's kid
which
is like, well, they lose. And they go,
is there a bad dudes World of Power book?
Oh God, I wish. Let's look.
Oh,
I don't think so. But
you guys, if there's anything bad dudes, you must cover it, because we have to save President Ronnie.
President Ronnie must be saved.
No bad dudes. No bad dudes.
Well, that's a vacuum that needs to be filled. Obviously.
Well, we have stated that eventually we're probably going to get into fan fiction and shit like that.
Yeah, we'll read some fan fiction. Hopefully, there's bad dudes fan fiction out there in which they don't save President Ronnie. Or they
before I forget it, Phil, because we're on an 8-bit track, you should look up a Master System game called Kenseiden. Kenseiden. It is a samurai Master System game that I spent. It is crazy because it's all like OG Japanese demon mythology, and you're just a little dude with a sword in traditional dress and wooden shoes walking around like battling these demons, and it is phenomenal.
Oh wow, this is back when like your boss levels were just black background. There was no like landscape you were fighting against.
Yeah. It is a very ominous and dark game. Everything about it is amazing. But anyway, I don't want to make your episode 3 hours. I know how many chapters this fucking book still has.
We're almost at the end. Basically, Ryu kills the demon, goes to try to rescue his pops, and his dad's like, "No, you gotta leave me.
Yeah, leave me behind for no apparent reason.
No, you'll die if you try to take me." So Ryo's like, no, okay, I'm gonna leave. Sorry, Dad.
And he leaves, and like literally, and I like to imagine this is in 5 minutes of real world time. Like he leaves his dad behind, runs, finds the little redheaded girl, and rescues her instead.
She's
fine with him helping her.
Yeah, he tries to go and kick the football, and I think pulls it out of the way.
Yeah, and I think the thing is like. She's an adult woman who works for the CIA, and it's like they kind of frame her, she's like the redheaded girl. Like, no, she is probably twice Ryu's age in this book. She is probably like 26 or 27.
Right.
So they escape.
She's got a cyanide capsule in her molar.
Right. Yeah. She's about ready. She's almost there.
She's been involved in the Cold War for quite some time now. Like since she probably studied Russian undergrad or something like that. CIA recruited her right out of college.
Here she is.
And anyway,
total homicidal maniac.
So basically, they escape, and he's on the radio. She's on the radio with Foster. Australian phobia, and then he
God damn it, Kevin.
Foster's.
Nope. We're just gonna let you sit on that one.
You're gonna think about what you did.
So Foster tells her to kill Ryu and take the statues, and she's like, no, and throws the radio away. And
no, but not before Ryu like just reads this guy the riot act.
Oh yeah,
he's
gonna fuck this guy up when he
having
finds
an
him.
opinion.
Yeah, I love the guy who's like she's literally got a walkie-talkie. This is not a cell phone she's talking on. It's like a walkie-talkie.
It's loud. He can hear you.
Right, and the guy's like, you should go ahead and kill that guy and get the statues. I'm not on speaker, am I? I'm a little awkward.
Yeah, I'm not. The 13-year-old didn't hear me tell you to kill him, did he?
I am totally in the clear that there is no evidence that I absolutely asked you to kill a 13-year-old, right?
Right? Yeah. So they throw the walkie-talkie away, and then Ryu's dad is like, "Ha ha, I'm alive."
Yeah, digs his ass out of the dirt.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end.
And that's wait, hold on, real quick. My favorite part this end is the little redheaded girl. We find out that her code name is Sea Swallow, which all right. And then Ryu says, what is your name? She says, well, my name is Irene. It's Greek for peace. I just imagine him going, shut up. Like
just like punch her out like the end of Die Hard.
Who gives a fuck? How about that? Sea Swallow.
Sea Swallow this, you dumb.
Hey, Sea Swallow, how about you swallow my balls? My 13-year-old ninja balls. How about that?
Differences in this ending is because in the game, Ryu is not established as a 13-year-old child. He is just Ryu. And at the end of the game, he makes out with Irene.
Yes.
They hook up because she becomes his girlfriend.
She's his property now.
Jeez.
Because he won the game, you know.
He won the game.
I'm trying to give stuff that Kevin could leave in the show for the end.
And then so he makes out with her, and the dad is dead. There is he's not alive at the end of the game.
Right. God, he dies. How many times has he flip-flopped from? He's like the Mitt Romney of just living or dying.
It's like
are you alive or are you dead? Pick a fucking lane, Dad. Like there's no drama to it if it's just a switch that you flip up and down.
Right.
Ha! I'm back. It's not a Jack in the Box. Is not a dramatic device.
Guess who's fine, bitches? Yeah.
Oh man. So what is what kind of do we like? Do I do a thumbs up? Do I make a fart sound? How do I tell you guys what was my thinking about this book overall?
What you think, Hess? Why don't you tell us what you think?
There's no official thing because we have all sorts of on my show. We have all sorts of official business at the end.
Maybe we should have some sort of like witticism or like official title for it, but no, right now we don't have anything like that.
No, we don't have any.
I mean, the thing is, I feel you guys have a whole context of this. How do I want to describe this literary micro genre or this literary carbuncle that is video game books? So I feel like a child wandering in from the street, screaming maddeningly just at shadows. But it's very much, it feels like it was written by 13-year-olds for 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, if I had to say one thing. And in that way, it's like actually totally successful.
Yeah, sure.
Is that, like where you're like, bam, this happens. He's shot. He gets bullied. He gets his sword back. Bam! He's on the university. He turns it around. He kicks some ass. He throws a shuriken. He's working for the CIA. He's in the jungle. Like
holy fucking shit!
It's like study hall is only so long. And so, I mean, I think maybe if you meet it where it's at, it's phenomenal. But you know, I just am not, I'm not there. But on some level, maybe this is exactly what the Ninja Gaiden book that we deserve.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys tell me.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like, it took what the game had. Literally everything that happens in the book happens in the game. Shuffled some of the scenes around, and then added stuff in there, like the whole first couple of chapters and the flashback and all that stuff. That's all added material. It's better than the other one we read.
Is fidelity a thing that you guys take very seriously on your show?
No.
Like in terms of relating the book to the property?
No. In fact, I mean, the thing is that you know, one of our big complaints is in some of these books, it goes they're too close to it, and it's not,
because games are not books.
Games are not books.
Yeah, right.
So you have to, you know, one of the books we just finished up, our favorite parts were the stuff that were not in the game, because that's when the author really got to have fun with it and introduce us to some interesting ideas that we really enjoyed that. And the same goes for that. I think that's the thing for me with this book. It's like it starts out and it's not doing what the game does. I was like really impressed at first. And then it goes on and you're like, oh, right, this was written for 10-year-olds. I forgot.
No, and now that you say it, you know, specifically, it completely makes sense because, you know, if you have too much fidelity, you get The Shining, the TV series with the guy from Wings.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Which is like, well, you did it like he's told you to do it. And is anybody ever going to fucking watch that shit ever again?
No.
Like, no. Everybody's going to watch the goddamn Stanley Kubrick movie, which is like cinema 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking phenomenal. Because books are not movies and video games are not books.
Right.
Everything has to be its own thing.
Yeah.
But that's I hadn't exactly thought about it that way, but it should have been obvious.
Yeah. It's adaptation.
That's what it comes down to, really. And is the book good? You know, does it? And we talk a lot about adaptation too. You know, Kevin brings that up quite a bit about how do we make this different. You know, when I was teaching playwriting, one of the things that I used to ask my students, first thing I said is like, all right, look, I know most of you have seen way more movies than you have plays. I have two, just based on the world we live in. But the first thing you need to check yourself on is, am I actually writing a movie and not a play? What makes this a play and not a movie? And, you know, so changes have to be made. There has to be an adaptation. There has to be a shift. And
what occurs to me is one of the main differences there is that probably the likelihood of people, the amount of people that are just picking up a Ninja Gaiden book who have not played the game, that percentage must be
really low
on the floor, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you have more of a contingent relationship where probably the amount of people that have seen The Shining the movie and not read the book is going to be a vast majority, where you have a flip-flop in ratios. So you kind of have to do an kind of a scratch the audience's itch in a much more like literal way than going, you know, like book to movie, right?
Yeah.
Because they have a service that they're expecting to be delivered in a certain extent. They want to have their head scratched to be like, yes, we know that you spent all that time trying to defeat the little bats.
Right.
we know how harrowing it was.
Good job. You killed the bats.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's Ryu killing the bats.
Right.
It's way more dramatic than when you did it, but that's how it felt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. That's exactly what it is. And but yeah, it's and sometimes they win, sometimes they lose.
Yeah.
But at least I'll always respect them for having made a goddamn choice, though. Like for making some kind of a choice.
Making a choice is good.
Yeah.
It seems like particularly this stuff that's like in the 90s, you know, this is all the way back to 1990. You have to think that these people were writing this as if they were under a rock,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody's eventually going to pick up the rock and see all the bugs that scurry around. But like it was a completely invisible thing to create in a way.
Right.
So either they're doing it for mercenary reasons or just for pure enthusiasm.
Right.
Which is which is also where you find things that are very bizarre and interesting, which is, like how comic books become a dominant art form is nobody's paying attention.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, the reasoning behind why these books are getting adapted is
that's a whole thing that I'm glad is your job, not mine.
Book fairs. Scholastic is like, we need to cover those tables.
I think the fact that Mega Man 2 exists in this series is proof that they weren't trying to they weren't going for quality. They've got I'm guessing
like we need
as
10
we
of
keep
them.
reading these, we're going to get variability.
We
as
need
far as
10
quality.
books. Just please get them done.
Right. Right.
Wait. You're saying Bases Loaded 2 second season is not going to rivet me to my core?
I cannot wait to read that book. I cannot wait. We didn't know that
We
would
didn't
exist
realize it at first.
until like a week ago. We literally found it a week ago.
Okay, well, yeah, I know a little bit about some fake baseball, so just
Hess, when
it comes up,
are you saying you want to be a guest on Bases Loaded 2?
Bob.
I mean, I don't want to be invading your show like the Visigoths. You just better at least send me the PDF. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, we got you covered.
I don't know.
Don't you worry.
All right. Okay.
All right, that'll do it for tonight's episode. If y'all could rate us on Apple, give us some 5 stars. They also allow rating on Spotify now. It's not super apparent, but it's there. It's on a little menu thing. If you can find it, give us 5 stars and pat yourself on the back because you navigated through Joe Rogan's podcasts probably to get there.
God help us all,
They
really.
they use Joe Rogan as a moat now over on Spotify. I mean, just
Hess, what pluggables have you got for the people at home?
It's really not that complicated. If you just search for Oops All Monsters on your podcatcher, you will find us. It's the weird old-timey print of the funny mermaid lady person. It says Oops All Monsters. Also get at us on the Insta at Oops All Monsters. That will hyperlink you to everywhere that we are on the interwebs.
Beautiful. Hess, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. This is hilarious. This is like getting to be a player character rather than being a DM. It's like I can unclench my butthole and just say funny shit. It's hilarious.
It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. And go check out Oops All Monsters. Remember to share. Podcasts grow only through sharing. And have a good night, everybody.